And we are live. Good evening. It's March 6th, 2023, and these are your Fortean Files. Kind of digging in now, a little bit. Not much.
Oh no, one of these days I'll be on camera and you'll see me dancing.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Katie's supposed to have her green screen by what, next week?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. We'll probably have no live listeners / watchers tonight because I took us off of the Fortean slip.
Yes, that's right.
So the idiots that couldn't manage to come over to the Fortean Files channel will be finding nothing there tonight. And we'll be finding no listeners. And that'll be as it is. Yeah, so it's been a week. Luckily, I was able to make the show on time tonight. I did have to go to the doctor today to find out what is what. A 46-year-old man hadn't been to the doctor in over fucking like 20 years for a checkup or anything. Anything that means anything, let's say.
Yeah.
I went for stupid shit that needed to get, like, you know, I've been in for the coronavirus. I've had that fucking twice.
Urgent care.
Right. Urgent care shit. Not to, like, you know, prevent, nothing preventative for ages. And it went well. I do have to go in for a minor surgery. I guess you could call it minor. Although any type of surgery, I guess, isn't really all that minor. I mean, you got to go under, and I mean, I'll have to for this. So, but it's just a minor, I guess, minor hernia repair. I had a piece of mesh put in when I was in my 20s. And I knew back when they put it in that it was a fucking problem. And I tried to tell them that it was a fucking problem. And they just literally just shoved me off for years and years and years. And they wouldn't fix it. They refused to go back in to fix it. And now it's a fucking problem. Go team.
Yeah.
Go team Chris's former doctors. They were great. Thanks for the opioid addiction. It was fun.
Oh, such little blessings. They are.
Yeah. So, and I was very honest with her about, you know, my past and my drug addiction and all that, which hopefully helps her in, you know, treating me in the future. But other than that, everything seems good. I need to have a wonderful colonoscopy. That should be fun.
A fountain of fun.
Nothing like shitting your brains out for an entire day.
It sounds so horrible.
And then having doctors stick a camera up your ass.
I know.
After, like, inflating you. and then if they find something, they're going to cut pieces off of you, Katie, and send it in to be checked out.
I know.
You're going to be like a lab rat. And I'm horrified. Like, these are the things that keep me up at night.
Oh, unfortunately, I'm right there with you. I'm
keep me
putting off my own. So,
Katie, like, I get anxiety at the idea of they may find something. That's me. That's me. Every hour of the day. That's my brain.
Yeah.
Hey, they might find something.
I hear you.
And that voice laughs too, just like I did.
Yeah, right.
Because it's me.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a professional worrier, so I totally understand. I'm really good at worrying about things.
I put this off. I did not want to go. I did not want to go. I did not want to go. Missy was very adamant. Not adamant. She just wanted me. She wants me to be okay, and she wants me to be healthy, and that I totally get that. Completely get that. And it's very nerve-wracking for me because I don't do well in those situations. I don't do well when an institution has wronged me.
Yeah.
And then I have to go back to that same institution to get help. You know, and I get it that the different doctors, different people,
Right.
different
It's
whatever.
individuals, not the institution.
I get that, but it's very hard to separate the two.
Sure. Yeah.
Especially when you went to multiple different doctors and they all did the same type of bullshit to you. And caused, problems for you. So I'm trying to look at this with a very positive attitude going forward. But we'll see.
Yeah.
My anxiety sometimes gets the better of me, but I've been pretty good today. Like I was kind of nervous, but I was okay. I was like, all right, let's do this. Let's get this fucking done. And I need to. This is stuff I need to know. I need to know what's going on here. I need to know what's going on there. I need to know what this is. Because I have I do now. I have a history in my family of heart disease because of my father. So, and I'm a smoker because I still vape. I consider that fucking smoking still, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I'm concerned. Gotta pay attention to that shit.
Indeed, you do. We all do.
So I've been hemming and hawing about this for a little bit. I've been wanting to, and Katie, that I read like a fucking enormous amount of books.
It's insane amount.
I read like a lot, and I see all these YouTube channels, these fucking people who do book reviews, and I've been like hemming and hawing about doing something, but there's so many of them.
Yeah. Well, but if you picked like a specific genre, like your most favorite niche of reading,
there's so many of them.
I know. There really are. I know.
In the genre that I would pick, you know what I mean? Like, so, but I've been thinking about this, and I'm gonna. I want to try to do something. I don't know if I will. I was thinking about doing it on the like page. I'm wondering if I could keep it PG enough. I don't know though.
Yeah, you kind of started to do something like that for a little bit, didn't you? Or at least some.
Well, I was
reading. Some readings. Yeah.
I was doing. I tried to do the Fortean Slip bedtime stories.
Yeah.
Again, but doing it as reading older fiction, like stuff that's in the public domain.
Yeah.
And stuff that it fits into my wheelhouse as far as like science fiction, or that I thought kind of fit into the whole Fortean, idea.
Yeah.
Science fiction, fantasy, the weird, the strange.
Yeah. Mysterious.
Those old, like, H.P. Lovecraft shit. I even read some like Ambrose Bierce, like really older fucking horror author. But I've been wanting to do something because, I read like a fucking shit ton. Always,
It's incredible. It's impressive how much.
Jaws the other day, and it might as well have been a day. Like I started it one day and finished it the next. Wow. So I'll call it 2 days, but
maybe more like 3 hours or 30 hours.
It wasn't that long.
That's crazy.
And I fucking plowed through it. And it was such a great book. But I'm thinking about doing that, but I had wanted to talk about, I bought into, and I don't know if I've brought this up before on the show. I may have, but I bought into the Kickstarter that Brandon Sanderson did last year, where he announced that over the pandemic, he wrote 4 books in secret. He didn't tell anybody about it. The only person that knew about it, I think, was his wife, and a couple of other people wound up finding out later on. Because the original book, the one that I just read, was written for his wife. And she told him that he should publish it. So he went out and he wound up writing 4 books over the course of the pandemic and decided to release them as this Kickstarter, which I bought into last year. It cost me $40 because I bought the basic ebooks. I got nothing extra, like none of the extra perks. All the extra stuff that I get was included in the package, but I didn't get any of like the gift boxes or the hardcover signed books. I don't give a fuck about owning a physical copy of a book ever again in my life since I've gotten a Kindle. I can carry my library in my back pocket.
Yeah.
Thank you. If I want to look at cover art at this point, Google's a wonderful fucking thing.
Right.
So I bought into it because it was 4 books, $40. I was like, fuck it. I get them release date long before they're being released to anywhere else like Amazon or being, sold. So I get it, before everybody else. But I had held on. I got Tress of the Emerald Sea back in January. And for whatever reason at the time, I think I was in the middle of a series. I didn't have time to read it right then and there. But I had wanted to get right into it. And I read it this past week. And what a fucking phenomenal book. Just what a fun book. It's told from the first person, but not by the character of the story, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
And it's
So it's
told
like a second person perspective,
but he's in the story.
Yeah.
But not all the time. So it's interesting, like, and he's a character that is in other books of Sanderson's throughout his what he calls the Cosmere. It's like his universe.
That's cool.
So there's all these worlds that are within this one universe, and this character who tells this story is within a bunch of them, or if not all of them. Sort of godlike in a way, but not.
So is this one you just read the first one of those 4?
No. Well, it's the first one he released, but it's not like a series. It's not like the next one.
But it's one of those 4 that he wrote during the pandemic.
It's one of the 4. So the next one I think is, I don't know which one that's related to, what book series, but like there's other stuff I have to read of his. I need to catch up on and read some other stuff, but I love his work. He finished Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series after Jordan passed away, and love it or hate it, whatever you want to say about it, they were going to hire somebody to do it.
Right.
And his wife had every intention of having it finished. He left tons of notes, and I liked what Sanderson wound up doing with it. You could definitely feel his tone when he finished the series, but he did the best he could with what he had. I guess you could say that's how I'll put it. And I wasn't dissatisfied with the outcome.
Oh, and I'm sure he felt the pressure. I mean, what a
he's
task to be mounted with. I mean,
yeah, he's talked about it ad nauseum. Like there's YouTube videos and YouTube videos and YouTube videos about the whole thing. But I had fallen in love with him there, kind of, and I wanted to read some other stuff by him, and I didn't until when I first got my Kindle. I wound up reading the Stormlight Archive, which I haven't read the most recent book, but I need to. I have it. But in reading this Tress of the Emerald Sea, I'm telling you, if you like to read and you want a fun book, it's fun. It's fun. That's it. And I don't even want to tell you anything else. It's about a girl named Tress, and she likes cups. All I'm gonna tell you. It's fucking amazing. Like, you'll love it. I don't care who you are, you'll love it. It's a great book. Like, if you don't like it, you have no soul. Don't even talk to me, because I don't even know what you are.
The cover art for it did look really incredible.
And the digital art that they sent with it is really cool too.
I remember when you said that to me, and it was very like awestruck you, like, whoa, pulls you
it's
in.
very, very, very cool. And I mean, the premise of the book, I will tell you a little bit more. It's about a girl. She likes her cups, but she lives on a rock in a sea, but the sea isn't made of water. The sea is made of spores that fall from the moons. And
Sounds a little creepy.
if water gets on the spores, they do crazy shit.
Like the Magwai?
Worse. So that's all. I mean, that's all you need. It's a great little story. It's cute. It's fun. It made me laugh. Like, it's one of those books where I was reading it and it literally made me chuckle. And that's hard to do with a book.
Yeah.
It's like books making me cry. You have to fucking really dig deep to get me to fucking cry with a book.
Yeah,
because I've read a lot of books. I've read a lot of fucking deep shit.
Yeah.
But it takes a fucking pretty skilled author to get me to fucking cry. But also to get me to laugh. Like,
that's definitely more impressive, I think, is to have a book make you laugh. Just the speed of it and the way you do it to make it actually be a genuine chuckle.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And the narration is tongue in cheek too. There's a lot of that. So it's fun. So I wanted to relay that. I don't know when I'll be doing or what exactly I will be presenting, but I want to try to get it on at least the Facebook page. I just don't know if I can keep it PG enough to keep it on there. That's the thing. And I'd like
strict.
Everything is nowadays.
I know.
Oh, that's what I want. I almost forgot to get our fucking Rumble link for tonight, Katie. I almost forgot to get it so I can tell people to go who want to listen to the show over there. We're not live yet, but
not too far away from getting enough subscribers to be live, though. We're on our way.
Yeah, it's definitely going. I'll just have to tell people what it is. Will it let me go to my fucking account? They don't make shit easy. They don't make shit easy with this stuff, Katie. I don't like it. I wish they would. But if any of you like Rumble, I'm going to try to figure out how to do the show live to Rumble and to YouTube to the Fortean Files channel. I'm working on figuring out Rumble with going live there. It's not as easy as it is to just stream to YouTube. So, but it's, if you search for the Fortean Files, that's TheFortean Files, you will find our account channel. It's not a channel over there. It's something different. They call it, because a channel you make under your account, which is kind of weird.
That is weird. Yeah, I don't know anything about Rumble.
Yeah, so the content's over there. I've uploaded it all. So if you like Rumble, go over there, check it out. Or if you're listening to us on Rumble, let us know. Definitely let us know. I know there are people watching it over on Rumble, so probably to a greater extent than they are over on fucking YouTube. So
right.
Yeah, so it's I mean, it's been slow, but I wanted this, with doing this, starting over again, doing something new. I didn't want to piggyback off of the Fortean Slip. I did run it on that channel for a little bit to see if any of the former fans that were bugging me about starting a new show, wanted to come over. Great. I'm happy to have them. But I wanted this to grow on its own accord. If you like it, share it, give it to somebody. You know, it's like the coronavirus. You can just give it to your friend, you know, and say, there you go. You just got a week off from work. It is what it is. But I wanted it to be something organic, and I wanted us to grow it and not, you know, like I said, piggyback off what little I had in it, because it, you know, it wasn't that big over there.
No, but it
We
wasn't
weren't
nothing either.
right, it wasn't nothing, but we weren't doing like fucking super numbers. So, you know, like I said, if you like this fucking show, give it a tug, give it a fucking rub. So anyway, but yeah, check us out over on Rumble if you haven't, and if you are one of the people that's listening to us on Rumble, let us know. I don't know how that works over there. If you can leave comments, I'm gonna have to like really look into that tonight.
I'll say I'm gonna have to download it and actually play around with it and learn something.
Yeah, we'll see.
Learn the lingo.
But for our first story of the evening, Katie, this is right in my backyard from 92moose.fm. Main bar featured on Hulu for this insanely haunted object. This bar in Portland, Maine is getting a lot of attention. Portland, Maine, just down the way.
Yeah, it's not far from you at all.
The bar sits on Commercial Street, and by the looks of the place, is a normal, fun pub. However, it's far from normal. It's paranormal. Andy's Old Port Pub is now going to be featured on a new Hulu series in the History Channel called Repossessed. I am obsessed with all things paranormal and supernatural. I totally believe in ghosts and consider myself an amateur hunter of spirit beings. I have had some strange encounters that you can't explain. Maybe I can. But never experienced a haunted object. This is the case for the local pub in Portland. According to WGME, Andy's has a pool table, and it is totally haunted. A pool table? Yes.
Table?
Why? As the article states, the owner, John Lowell, and employees are hearing noises coming from the pool table itself. We hear noises from the pool table when nobody's playing, and it can sound like people are playing. You'll hear pool balls that connect with other pool balls. He goes on to say that even the patrons have said they felt touching and nudging. Okay. Additionally, and even better, maybe you're just covering up something there, bub. Additionally, and even better, they are claiming to have caught footage of objects flying off the shelves. I'm going to say that's probably supposed to be shelves in the bar on camera. This is exciting, and I can't wait to see how haunted this pool table is. Yeah, me too. You never know. Maybe it's just a bunch of ghosts that really like pool. And every Friday they get together with their see-through bods and rack up the balls. Could be Ghost Guys night out. Yeah. I got a douche chill reading that. Yeah. Fuck you. It's awful. But yeah, a haunted pool table.
That's a first. That's quite the object, you know, of all random inanimate objects. Well, but hey, maybe somebody got murdered on top of it.
Maybe. I mean, I doubt it, but we'll see. From foxnews.com, Katie. Meet the American who reported the first sensational UFO encounters, Puritan leader John Winthrop. Unidentified flying objects soared into American popular culture with the dawn of the jet age in the 1940s. The post-World War II flying saucer craze still rivets the imagination. It inspired movies, books, and a subculture of UFO enthusiasts and turned remote, dusty Roswell, New Mexico into a global destination of paranormal pilgrimage. UFOs, it turns out, have mystified Americans since the earliest days of colonial settlement. The first known UFO encounter in America was recorded in 1639 by Puritan leader and prolific journal keeper John Winthrop, leader of the Massachusetts Bay Colony and foundational figure in the National Pantheon. Winthrop's sensational account of a great light in the night was witnessed by a group of sober, discreet, and credible persons over Muddy River in Boston. If they were in Boston, I question whether they were sober, discreet, and or fucking credible. And I don't care what century we're in.
That is a fair point, Chris. Fair point.
A trickle of a creek that today wraps around American sports landmark Fenway Park. Winthrop's leadership of the fledgling Massachusetts colony shaped the destiny of the United States, established more than a century after his death. He has serious street cred in academia. John Winthrop's journal has long served as a cornerstone of Massachusetts historical scholarship. The Massachusetts Historical Society writes in a recent look at the Puritans' UFO sightings. He diligently recorded the events of his life along with the trials and tribulations of the people of the Massachusetts Bay Colony during the first 19 years of its existence. Buried among his prolific writings are words that suggest a mystifying object may have abducted 3 men in a boat. Winthrop reported 2 more UFO sightings over Boston Harbor in 1644. Winthrop's incredible tales of aerial phenomena in early America, long unknown, generated sudden interest in recent years after the federal government and military officials admitted that it's been studying UFOs for decades. Stories of paranormal, unexplained, and perhaps extraterrestrial encounters, long considered fringe conspiracy, were effectively mainstreamed for academics and serious analysts. Few Americans were more serious than Winthrop. He was a devout Christian and an industrious nation builder, despite the hardship of carving a new civilization from the wilderness and governing a new society. He dutifully kept almost daily records of life in the colony for nearly 2 decades. On 2005 biography is titled John Winthrop, America's Forgotten Founding Father. His energy seemed prodigious and inexhaustible. And are we just going to talk about everything he did? Yeah, okay. Yeah, and he did a bunch of shit. But he reported UFOs, Katie, in his journal. Supposedly by sober, discreet, and credible people from Boston.
This was what, in the 40s? Is that what you said?
No, this was like fucking ages ago. We're talking. No, they talked about the 1940s. This is 1639.
Oh, Jesus.
So yeah, it was the 40s. The 1640s, Katie.
Oh, Jesus. That was a really fucking long. Well, that's interesting though.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard about the sighting with the people that were supposedly abducted in the boat. I've heard about that shit before. That's why I grabbed it. It's interesting that he recorded so much of that shit.
Yeah.
I'm always fascinated by people that can keep like accurate journals.
Yeah.
Like of their life. I mean, I've tried on many occasions. I give up after like 2 days.
I'm really sad that I journaled my entire high school lifetime, and I really wish I wouldn't have. No one needs to read that.
I think I've talked about this on the show before. I kept a dream diary for a good portion of time while I was in high school, going into like my junior to senior year, etc. And my girlfriend at the time got a hold of it.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Wasn't pretty.
That's
like
messed up.
There is nothing like being accused of cheating because you had a dream.
Yeah, no, that's stupid.
Like that is some shit that fucks with your head as a young man.
Yeah. Well, and to choose to read that of somebody else's and then hold it like, yeah, no, that's so stupid. Very immature.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she definitely was that.
I mean, I technically got mad at Joe for something he did in my dream, but It was just a joke.
But you didn't hold it against him.
No, it was just like last week. I was dreaming that he kept nudging me in my sleep and telling me that the alarm was going off, but it wasn't. And then when the alarm really did go off, I was so pissed at him.
That'll happen.
Yeah. Don't wake me up.
That'll happen. Our next story of the evening from stwnewspress.com. Local book club launches Stilly Bigfoot hunt. What happens when a book club brainstorms over drinks in the creative little town of Eureka Springs, Arkansas? Magic happens. Does it? Does it really?
It might.
Listen, folks, unless your all-female book club is going to A, be fucking top-notch hot and all get naked and fuck, magic ain't happening. I'm gonna fucking clue you in right now. Forget Finding Nemo. Finding Bigfoot is where it's at. Your newest outdoor adventure awaits as geocaching meets Bigfoot hunting. Why should Southeast Oklahoma get to have all the fun? You will find 11 lady Bigfoots, Bigfoot ladies, lady Big Feet, lurking around Stillwater through the spring season. Head to www.stillybigfoot.com for clues on where to find these hairy gals. The snarky clues will require hunters to decipher the approximate location. Hunters will then need to thoroughly explore the location to spot one of the lady Bigfoots. They are in no particular order, and you don't need to find them all in one day if you want to extend the fun. You can walk, ride a bike, or skate to most of the locations in town. Keep in mind that our new furry friends are for photo ops only. Please do not kidnap them or harm them so they can hopefully return next year. Feel free to post pictures on social media with hashtag StillyBigfoot, and please don't be a party pooper by disclosing their locations. Let the people have their fun. Each lady Bigfoot comes with their own personality and story, with their location chosen by each book club member. To bring Stilly Bigfoot to life, Women with Spines book club members applied for a grant through Vibrant Stillwater. Those funds enabled the creation of the laser-cut steel Lady Bigfoots and website. A special thanks from the group goes to local artist Bo Henaha, I hope I pronounced that correctly, James Cosley, and Mike Staubis for bringing La Squatcha, Bobathina, and the other Bigfoot ladies to life. It's magical, Katie.
I'm not gonna lie. I actually think that's super cool. Can you imagine how hard those ladies probably like work to bring that to life? Oh,
there you go, Katie.
Cute.
And for the record, I got this story just for you.
Oh, you knew I'd love it.
Of course I did.
That's so fun. And they made little stories for each of them. You know, that book club had so much fun and worked so hard to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. That's so cool.
But my joke still stands. It still stands.
That is so, I love the ponytail on that one too. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was cute. And
that is
like
cute.
I said, I knew you'd love it, so that's why I
do.
Our next story of the evening. Let's go with this one, Katie. Let's go with glasgowlive.co.uk. A Glasgow man could hold the key to one of the world's biggest UFO mysteries. The Calvin photo has left investigators baffled for decades. However, they now believe they have the name of the man who was behind the camera when the incident took place. And I'll show you guys this picture after I do the story. Investigators are trying to track down a Glaswegian man who they believe holds an important clue that cracks one of the biggest UFO mysteries in history. The infamous Calvin photo, or is it Calvin or Calvine? I don't fucking know. Excuse me. Was taken in Perthshire in 1990 and is believed to be one of the clearest images of a UFO ever taken. However, it is at the center of a Ministry of Defense mystery after the photos sent to the government outfit disappeared. However, one certified copy of the image was uncovered last year, showing a diamond-shaped object above the Perthshire Hills. Many believe that this is the world's best ever UFO photo, reports the Daily Record. It has now been revealed that the person who snapped the strange craft was Glaswegian called, I don't know how you pronounce that shit, called Kevin Russell. Kevin. It's just Kevin, Katie. It was fucking just Kevin. Jesus. Who was working as a porter at the pit. Oh, I am going to fuck this one up. At a hotel. I'm just going to say at a fucking hotel at the time. Kevin and his friend were left terrified when they spotted the 100-foot long aircraft, which they say hovered above the A9 near Calvine, where it was intercepted by RAF jets before it soared off at high speeds. Investigator Matthew Ilsley said the identity of Kevin Russell, the photographer, remained a secret for 33 years until now. We would very much like him to come forward to confirm once and for all that what he saw was real. The Calvine incident remains one of the most confounding UFO mysteries in history, or Calvin. I'm probably pronouncing that totally wrong. They may not prove there's life on Mars, but no one has ever argued that. What? What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, I was just going to say, that sounds like a misplaced sentence, but
yeah.
Okay.
The more likely truth lies with the human aircraft advancements that were covered up by the MOD and U.S. intelligence agency. He added, this case is not about little green men or an aerial Loch Ness monster. It's potentially a piece of military history that can be unlocked once and for all. Ilsley said Kevin would likely be in his 50s now. Hotel colleagues who were tracked down said he returned to Glasgow in the early 90s. UFO hunters have contacted 150 Kevin Russells in Britain, Australia, the US, and Canada. And about 300 more Scots called Russell. None have confirmed that they were the photographer. Owsley said that Calvin, whatever file, should have been released after 30 years in 2021, but the MOD blocked the release of key details until 2076 due to privacy concerns. Some experts believe the object is a secret U.S. reconnaissance aircraft named Aurora, a silent supersonic spycraft. A photo of Kevin has been supplied to investigators by a person who worked at the hotel in 1990. Last year, it was revealed that the former MOD press officer Craig Lindsay had worked on the case when the photos originally came to light. And this goes on and on and on. But I'll show you this photo. Jesus Christ. I hate pop-ups. They're the worst things ever, Katie. Worst things ever.
They are quite annoying.
And there is your UFO.
Oh, wow.
Can I make it bigger? No, that's a fucking Pinterest fucking stupid ass thing. No, I can't make it any bigger.
That is intriguing.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't know what it is, but it's supposedly a UFO.
I don't know. It makes it a little... I wish we knew more about the guy that took it, obviously.
Well, I don't think we're going to find too much out about him.
No.
Most people don't like to come forward for this shit.
Right.
They're afraid of being ridiculed or being bothered. You know, they don't want to have anything to do with it. I don't blame them.
Yeah, that's true. I
honest.
wouldn't. I would probably submit something anonymously and then disappear into the darkness too.
I go back to the issue that I literally getting into doing this stuff and meeting a bunch of people in the Bigfoot community back in the day. I went to a convention with my son for it was like a comic book convention. Like there's like people in cosplay and shit. And my son wanted to go. It was fun. They had like a full Ghostbusters car like out front.
That's cool.
And like people running around. He really enjoyed it. He like got his picture taken with a bunch of people and stuff. But anyway, I'm going through this thing and I run into a guy whom I will only call Bill. Anyone who knows about this story knows who the fuck it is. And Bill literally tried to come up and start shit with me while I was with my son
Wow.
at a convention.
That's low.
Yeah. And I had to literally turn around and tell him, no, you're not going to fucking do this here while I'm with my son. You know,
What a loser. The nerve.
people are fucking weird.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and they think once they're in your wheelhouse that they have, you know, the ability to just do whatever. It's like, no, take a fucking ticket, dude, because today is not the day.
Right.
But that's the shit. That's the type of shit you deal with.
Yeah.
So
People are weird.
I can totally get why someone would not want to come forward and say, hey, yeah, it was me. You know, I fucking wouldn't. I mean, I tell my fucking stories, but nobody believes my shit. That's the good part about it. From avclub.com, Steven Spielberg shares personal theory explaining all those UFO sightings. Because that's where I go.
Oh, yeah.
For my UFO information is Steven Spielberg.
Let's hear this.
Depraved dinosaur hunter and acclaimed film director Steven Spielberg seems to be wondering, like all of us, about the nature of all those UFO sightings that keep popping up lately. As a man of great imagination and considerable experience in wrangling the alien threat, he has considerable experience?
Does he?
Okay. He also has some thoughts about what those sightings might actually be. Asked about UFOs during an interview with Stephen Colbert, the alternately named Steve was ready with a theory explaining that maybe, just maybe, what we are seeing are far future versions of humanity come back in time to check out a crucial point in our species' history. You're regurgitating what other people have said, but okay. Although Spielberg says he's never seen a UFO or anything else, he can't explain, he adds, that he thinks other people what has been coming out recently is fascinating and that there's something going on that simply needs extraordinary due diligence. He goes on to explain that he thinks it's mathematically impossible that we're the only intelligent species in the cosmos, but that it almost seems impossible that anybody would visit us from 400 million light years from here, unless they're using some kind of nifty wormhole traveling technology. Nifty. It's nifty. I wonder if Dr. Michio Kaku says it's nifty. I wonder if Neil deGrasse Tyson says, hey, that wormhole thing, that's nifty. After chatting a bit more with Colbert, who suggests that there could be a wild paradigm-shattering secret being hidden from the public, there's tons of fucking paradigm-shattering secrets being kept from the public. You fucking idiots. Right. It's called the government. Why do you think I called this fucking episode Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, you dumb fucks? The most optimistic thing I feel about these things that we're seeing in the skies is that they could be humans visiting from the future. What if it's us 500,000 years into the future? Because I'll guarantee you, Steve, I'm going to call you Steve because I think we're on that basis now, Mr. Spielberg. Steve, if we make it 500,000 years from now, I'll be fucking insanely shocked. I'll be surprised if we make it 50,000 years from now. No. 5,000 at this point. This fucking species has its head so far up its ass. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Not even funny.
I agree. Our timeline isn't looking good.
Let me just put it into perspective for you. $100 billion to Ukraine. Detroit. Just Detroit. Forget about all the other fucking trash ass shit we have going on in this country. Detroit.
Yeah.
Could we fix that
Imagine
before we
what.
send a bunch of fucking money somewhere else? But, there's no conspiracy theories in this world about anything.
No,
And I'm
not at
just
all.
wrong. I'm just a dumb fuck that sits here and, yeah, we aren't making it 500,000 years into the future there, Steve. That is coming back to document the second half of the 20th century and into the 21st century because they're anthropologists, he says. And they know something that we don't quite know yet that has occurred, and they're trying to track the last 100 years of our history. Returning to the possibility of aliens, Colbert then asks if non-human visitors would be more likely to come with motivations like those of E.T. or the ones expressed by the less cuddly invaders from the War of the Worlds. E.T., Spielberg immediately answers, I believe that if any extraterrestrial civilization has journeyed all the way here, it's because of curiosity and science, and it's not about aggression. Oh. Well, then I guess we roll out the red carpet because Steve says so.
That's awfully optimistic.
Jesus fucking Christ. I can't. I just can't. I can't go on with this story. I think it's all over anyway.
Do people still watch those late night shows with Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel? And I don't think
I
people even
don't.
still watch. I don't either. I don't even know anybody that does, honestly.
I can't, but I mean, if it's your thing, great. Do your thing. If you like late night talk shows, I liked it when it was fucking Johnny Carson.
Right. I liked what was the late show with that British guy?
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about.
He was on the Drew Carey
He
show.
he was Scottish.
Scottish.
I
Ooh,
do
yeah, you're
believe.
right. Ooh, shit.
Yeah, that's a faux pas.
Yes, I'm
That's
a
a
horrible
fucking
person.
big faux pas there,
Well,
Katie.
I had a huge crush on him as a kid, so
Can't remember his name,
I
but I
can't
know
either. It's
exactly who
like,
you're talking about. He had the talking skeleton thing.
yes. Oh, I
Yeah.
loved him. He was the best. Shit,
Yeah.
that's gonna bother me.
Can't remember. Anyway, our next story of the evening from ladbible.com. Bigfoot expert explains how we could prove the creature exists once and for all. A leading expert on Bigfoot, my favorite fucking
So
4
many of those,
words,
Chris. Lots of
leading
experts.
expert on Bigfoot, has explained the circumstances in which the theorized ape creature might be discovered and outlined the reasons that he believes we haven't found it yet. Here's footage from one suspected sighting to whet your appetite. And there's a video. Oh, new video shows incredible arm length. I don't give a shit. Oh, look, it's credit. Bigfoot evidence. Good old Sean. Anyway, Bigfoot expert Jeff Meldrum and guy who has a foot fetish believes there might actually be a few more of the Bigfoot creatures, or Sasquatch if you prefer, out there than you think, estimating that there could be as many as 3,000 across North America. One of the most interesting things about the Bigfoot mystery is that the same common characteristics have been cropping up for hundreds, perhaps thousands of years in many different and unrelated parts of the world. In North America, they have the Bigfoot or Sasquatch, whereas in the Himalayas, there is the Yeti, and in Russia, the Almas giant. There are different names for different cultures, and there are more too, but they all describe a large, upright standing ape creature that many claim to have seen, but no one can definitely prove the existence of once and for all. This has created much speculation around the world, with some believing the creature to be the product of overactive imaginations and too much time in the woods, while others remain convinced that the creature exists, despite the lack of empirical evidence beyond footprints and the occasional large pile of poo. Jeff Meldrum is a respected academic, a full professor of anatomy and anthropology in the Department of Biological Science at Idaho University, and you can often find him looking at women's shoes. He also one of the most foremost authorities on Bigfoot. Meldrum is convinced that the creature is real and believes that we will one day find one, or the remains of one, so that science can study the creature properly. But given humanity's track record with animals like this, think the Tasmanian tiger or the dodo? Does he actually want us to find one, assuming that we will? He told LAD Bible, yes, yes, and yes, because I do think that ultimately the evidence will be forthcoming, either through concerted efforts by persistent investigation or just serendipitously. I fucking hate that word. At some point, a hunter is going to shoot one, or a semi-truck is going to hit one on a rural highway, something like that. Or some spelunker maybe will serendipitously, geez, I got it right that time, stick their head into a hole and in the ground and come out with a skull or a jaw or a leg bone or something of enormous proportions. He continued, do I want it to happen? Yes, I do, because I'd like to see their feet. That's not what he said, but because I think that as stewards, we do best when we know the most about something. There are those who say, just leave it alone, but there are lots of species that have gone extinct despite us just leaving them alone. I think that whilst there may be what some perceive as negative consequences of discovery, I think that the benefits of an informed approach to the subject, to stewardship of that, will far outweigh the negative consequences. And it goes on and on and on and on. I once asked Dr. Meldrum, and not like directly, it was through a podcast, but I once asked him like what he thought the best evidence was, and he said the footprint cast. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. But
Well, that's his obvious answer because it's what he's
listen,
most knowledgeable about.
the dude definitely has a thing for feet.
Clearly.
I mean, Jeff, just fucking come clean. That's all I want to know. It would make you way more interesting. I'll guarantee you, if that man came out and said he had a foot fetish, that would get way more people into Bigfoot.
Maybe.
That would get asses in seats.
I feel like that's the obvious thing though. I feel like it's kind of clear, like, well, he's made a whole career out of studying every little movement that a foot makes and the toe and the way it bends. And yeah, the dude likes feet.
I have
Clearly.
I have a whole mashed up thing of him talking about dermal ridges.
Does he
Good old Dr. Meldrum. God love you. One of the only people to basically tell me, he told me to fuck off without saying fuck off.
Yeah. He'll say it nicely.
I gotta respect him for it.
Yeah. He does seem like a genuinely really nice guy.
I'm sure he is. I mean, like I said, he was decent and everything. He just basically told me to fuck off without telling me to fuck off.
Which is really insulting considering who he ended up working with.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I have zero fucking respect for him after we worked with him.
When I saw that, I literally was so disappointed because I think I still had that like childhood idolization of like the Bigfoot, like, wow, it's Jeff Meldrum. And then I saw that and I was like, oh.
Hey, listen, no. he wanted to go see some Muppets in the woods. And that's okay.
No.
I saw a Muppet in the woods once.
He could have probably paid his local fucking high school theater to go take some shitty stage props out in the woods and give him a good scare.
I got to see Doug Hudson's fucking Bigfoot costume out in the woods. That was my Muppet in the woods. Yeah. Meldrum just wanted to go hang out with a dude that likes to wear camo and get, shots of himself, driving around on his ATVs.
This is so unbelievable.
He films bullshit. I mean, Todd, listen, people believe him.
No, I can't accept that.
People believe him, Kate.
The people who say they do have to be trolls. They have to.
Just like people believe Dr. Johnson.
I'm a reasonable person, and that is not reasonable to me. It still feels like a fever dream to me that Jeff worked with him in the first place. Like, is still to think back on that. Like, that really happened? Is that really a part of history? Are you sure?
I still can't believe he put out a documentary.
That's what I mean. Like, I can't accept it.
I can't. It's so bad.
It is. It's horrible.
You
I
know,
was
if I wa-
so
if I
disappointed.
wanted to see Fozzie Bear in the woods, I go see Todd Standing.
It was
You
so
know,
fuzzy. You're right. Like
it's
spot
fucking
on.
Fozzie Bear. You fucking tell me it isn't on any day of the fucking week, please.
You probably like destroyed an old Hollywood relic to make that. It was the
There's some people
actual,
that think it's actually him.
might be.
With I think Phil did a recreation of
Yeah.
him, his face over the image.
Yes.
Listen, the best thing that I've ever seen has come out of a place I can't talk about. And I won't, because I respect the person that told me. And that's the only reason I won't talk about it. Like, and I mean, well, you know, full disclosure, it was fucking Matt Knapp. I mean, Matt showed me a fucking picture of something,
Yeah.
and it was a long time ago. And whether Matt and I speak or whatnot, I wouldn't fucking betray that.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't fucking throw him under the bus in that way. And he showed me a picture of something from somewhere where I was like, that's really from that location. And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, that looks like a fucking ape sitting out in the woods. And if that's where I think it is, that's in Washington State. Like, it's the fucking clearest, most amazing photo I've ever seen.
And that's in his neighborhood there that he.
No, not Matt's. Matt lives
Right,
in
but
Oklahoma, but
right.
it's in the Olympic Peninsula, or on the Olympic Peninsula in Washington State.
Right.
You know, and I've said this before, like, I don't know what to even think about these fucking things anymore. I can tell you, I saw that picture, and granted, a picture isn't, it could be nothing. Like,
yeah,
it's a picture. But I can tell you, looking at that picture,
it
looks
wasn't
like an
no
ape.
blob squatch. You could see.
It looks like a fucking ape.
Yeah.
You know, now, could it be an ape that escaped? That could be too. I'm not discounting that. All I'm saying is that what I saw in that photo looked like a fucking ape. That's all I can tell you. I mean, because I've seen some fucking shit. Photos that circulated around when I first started getting into all this stuff, and people were throwing photos around, and we were looking at shit, and I've seen a lot of garbage. And that, no, I don't know. I think I've told you where it is, though.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've told you where it is.
Yeah.
But I just won't say it publicly.
Sure.
Just because there could be blowback and it's bullshit. But, you know, hey, if you are up in that area, I do recommend that you go tap Derek Randalls on the shoulder and ask him how his hobby is going. That he gets paid a lot of money to do.
I don't know who
you
that
can
is.
do that. You can do that. Hi, Derek. How you doing? I fucking love just poking the bear. It's so much fun. Or the Bigfoot, or whatever you want to call it.
The Bigfoot.
The fucking Muppet. Our last story of the evening, Katie, to touch base on this little ditty for the week. We got to do after the show tonight. We're gonna go over our true crime game is a little weak.
Yeah, I need to assist and help.
We gotta step up on our true crime game. From the New York Post.com, Alex Murdaugh haunted by wife, son he murdered all day and every night. Good.
Boom.
Disgraced South Carolina Alex Murdaugh admitted he is haunted by the memory of the wife and son he murdered as he was given 2 life sentences Friday morning. Before reading the sentence, Judge Clifton Newman said to Murdaugh, "I know you have to see Paul and Maggie during the nighttime when you're attempting to go to sleep and reflect on the last time they looked you in the eyes." All day and every night, the fallen patriarch, 54, admitted at the Colleton County Courthouse in Walterboro. Murdaugh was found guilty on Thursday night of callously gunning down wife Maggie, 52, and son Paul, 22, in cold-blooded executions at the family's estate on June 7, 2021. During the trial, the court heard extremely graphic testimony about how Maggie had been shot 5 times, twice in the head, and Paul had been blasted with a shotgun, exploding his skull and splattering brain all over the dog kennels. The judge's measured but unpitying address to Murdaugh was underscored by the death of Newman's own son, former Columbia Councilman Brian DeQuincy Newman, on January 5th. Murdaugh was stone-faced in court, continuing to deny his guilt, and told the unimpressed judge he would never hurt his wife and son. While Newman, 71, said he understood the state's decision not to pursue the death penalty, he commented on the weight of Murdaugh's conviction and sentence in light of his family's historic influence in the Low Country courts. As I sit here in this courtroom look at the portraits of many judges and court officials, your family, including you, have been prosecuting people in this courtroom, and many defendants have received the death penalty, probably for lesser conduct, he said. Before the trial started in January, a portrait of Murdaugh's late grandfather, Randolph Buster Murdaugh, Jr., was removed from the courtroom. Newman said, explaining that he did not want it to affect the jury. You've practiced law before me, and we've seen each other at various occasions throughout the years, Newman told Murdaugh. The murderer might have been the monster you've become when you take opioid pills. Maybe you become another person, he continued, referring to the convicted killer's admitted drug addiction. Newman also slammed the troubled scion's pattern of duplicitous conduct, both in court and during the investigation. Appeals are probably or absolutely expected, but I would not expect a confession from you of any kind, he said. Before Newman's lengthy address, prosecutor Creighton Waters called for the maximum sentence, arguing that there was overwhelming evidence that Murding was a cunning manipulator who killed his wife and child out of selfishness. No one thought they were close to this man who could see who he really was, and that's chilling, Waters told the court. Murdaugh, dressed in a khaki prison jumpsuit, socks, and sandals, was supported in court by his surviving son, Buster, 26, and the defendant's younger brother, John Marvin Murdaugh. Buster, who testified on his father's behalf, appeared emotionless as the sentence was read. John Murdaugh was slightly more emotional and blinked several times while tightening his jaw. Within moments of learning his fate, Murdaugh was escorted from the courtroom in silence. In addition to the murder convictions, he is awaiting trial for a host of financial crimes, the total prison sentence for which could amount to over 700 years. Good fucking riddance.
Yeah.
That's so nice of his fucking ginger fuck son there to support him in the trial.
I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I fully expect Buster to either end up in prison too or find himself not around anymore here in the future. Yeah. And I mean, that's horrible to say. I feel like a horrible person for saying that out loud, but
you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say, y'all made your fucking bed.
Yeah.
Now sleep in it.
Right.
The whole fucking lot of you. You made it. Sleep in it.
I feel like the prosecutor was right when he called him a family annihilator. And he did annihilate his whole family. And sure, Buster's still physically here, but that doesn't mean that he didn't still successfully annihilate Buster too. And his demise just hasn't quite come to fruition yet.
No, it's just sad. The whole thing's sad.
Honestly, after watching the trial I watched 3 of the 6 weeks live every day at work, listening to the trial in the background. And I really thought it was sad to sit and listen to the verdict be read and then the sentencing the next day. It was not satisfying. I mean, I'm glad he was found guilty. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
God, it was just not like a woohoo, we got him. It was just like, God, this is fucking heart-wrenching.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not fun. Like this is not a pleasant process.
No.
For people. I don't envy any of these people that have to go through this, who are, the victims' families or victims or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult thing to process. And I don't think that it's easy for anybody. I think everybody deals with it in their own way. So it's sad. The whole thing's sad, watching these things happen, knowing that this family has this history and all this shit that went on and all the underhanded bullshit.
Yeah. It was a messy story. That's why it got so much traction. I mean, it was messy.
That's why I say you made your bed. We all do it. We all make choices. It's what life's about. I've said before, on this show, like the only thing is I question at this point whether or not those choices are our own or whether they were predestined the moment of our birth. Like, is life cause and effect, or do we have any fucking real choice in the matter?
When you look at people like Alec Murdaugh, though, to me, he was in full control of his choices and he kept making them.
But, you have to ask yourself the question. If you were raised the way he was raised in all the situations that he was in, you'd be him. That's the bitch of it.
I could see myself coming clean for a bunch of financial crimes and suffering the consequences of that before trying to get away with murdering my fucking family.
Right. But Katie, you're you. You lived your life.
Yes, and
that's
true.
The thing. Like that's why when I watch these things about serial killers, Ed Gein, horrific fucking human being.
Yeah, but that's
horrific. But if you look at his life, that's horrific too.
Sure, but he didn't kill his immediate family members.
No.
His own flesh and blood.
No, and that's true. But still, something brought him there. And that's the thing that I'm listen, I'm horrible. I'm like the fucking person that where they say you teach best what you most need to learn. Like, I'm horrible, like, at being the good guy in this situation. Like, I'm just saying that I think that that's more what I need to do, is look at things that way. Like, I'm not trying to victimize the person who victimized other people.
Sure.
Not by any stretch.
Story.
I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah. And I get that too. I'm fully into knowing the full story. I just family annihilators. People who kill their wives, their kids, their parents.
Who's the dude they just did the Netflix special about? He killed his wife and the 2 kids. Fuck.
Chris Watts?
Yes, Chris Watts. That dirty motherfucker.
He
like, he deserves to be shoved in a water tank and have his fucking head shoved under and be drowned and then brought back to life and drowned again and brought back to life for what he did to his fucking daughters.
To me, that's the same thing Alex Murdaugh did. The only difference is that Alec had a lot more money and was maybe a few fractions smarter.
He shot him. Like, Watts fucking put his little girls in that fucking water tank and closed the fucking lid.
That's true.
While they fucking said, "Daddy, Daddy."
Yes. No, it's so funny. You just literally, I got goosebumps thinking of it. I hate Chris Watts.
He's a fucking piece of shit.
I hope he's having the most miserable experience in prison. Like, truly.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably not. Let's face facts. They all acclimate, Katie.
Yeah, they all acclimate. True, but he's pretty, so.
Yeah, let's hope.
You know what I mean? Yeah. He's somebody's bitch. I'm betting on it.
I fucking pray for that shit. When I heard about what he did to his daughters, that was it for me. I was just like, this is fucking disgusting.
Him smiling on the news did it for me. Like, oh, this guy's all fucking
his
guilty
smirky bullshit.
Oh, he's terrible. Ugh.
And like having his, I don't know if that girl he was had something to do with had anything, you know.
I don't either, but she changed her name and disappeared. So,
Yeah.
which I mean, I can't blame her, innocent or not. I mean,
I don't blame. Yeah, I don't blame her either.
but I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
blame her.
lie, all that shit that got released was embarrassing. If I were her, I would have disappeared from the planet too. So,
Yeah, I'd have got the fuck out of Dodge.
yep.
But yeah, that stuff, you know. So I always try to look at it like the person, you know, and even okay, yeah, Chris Watts a piece of shit, but there's a fucking story there.
Yeah.
Like there, you know, Ted Bundy. There's a fucking story there. It may not be
Yes.
one we like. It may
Right.
not be one we want to hear.
Well, but it's important to hear because we need to know how
How
these
this
monsters
happens.
come to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that is the most common factor among all of them. An overbearing fucking mother.
Yeah.
So, ladies, cut the shit. God
Alec
damn
has
it.
so much power.
You know,
too.
if you want to realize that how much power women have, that's how much power you have.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of the big ones that really did the sadistic shit, like the really sadistic killers, all had mommy issues.
Ed Kemper.
Yeah.
Ed
There's
Kemper
so many of them.
decapitated his mother and fucked her head.
Yikes. That's such dark shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Mom. But almost bar none, all of them have mommy issues. And it's because the mother is an overbearing fucking asshole.
Yeah.
A lot of times religion is involved.
Yep.
They feel trapped by their sexuality or how they feel about sex because of their mother. This fucking just cut it out.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. I can't, I mean, you know, of course you and I are fascinated with this shit and we watch a lot of this stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I try not to be excited about it because I know it's not a thing to get excited about, but when I see like documentaries or whatever about it, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I want to see this. I'm very interested to see what the whole story is about this Brian Kohlberg or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yes.
The Idaho killing dude. Like,
yes.
I think that was a serial killer about to be.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I have kind of disconnected from it because I know we're in the waiting period time now.
Yeah.
And it's important for us to be patient. But, oh yeah, I cannot wait. Ugh, and that's so gross to say that. But like, I am excited for all the things to come out and for us
I
to
just
learn
want to, I just want to know what the deal was, for one. And I'd like to know more about this motherfucker. Like, I just like to know a little bit more about what the fuck went on there. Because I got a fucking kid in college.
Right? Oh, yeah.
You know?
It's horrifying.
And that fucking scared the shit out of me when that happened. Like, I was like, fuck.
Well, yeah. In that environment, like we've all lived that life, you know, even if we were not in college, you still went to parties and knew that party house. And it's just
and
so
people would just come and go.
Uh-huh.
You know, door was wide open.
Yep.
You know, I've been in houses like that.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
just come on in.
Yep.
And it's a scary situation. So I'm very curious to see what's coming out of that. But and I don't have anything major for the cult of the week this week, but I am looking forward to the Waco documentary that is coming out that I shot the trailer to you the other day.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I missed that. I never watched it because I'm a horrible person.
I am total. Check that out after we fucking cut out of the show.
I will.
But yeah, I'm really excited to see the Waco documentary. For those of you that don't know, my coworkers at Walmart when I was like 18 used to call me Chris Koresh on the night shift. So yeah, good times. I can't wait for this one. Good old Dave, thinking he's Jesus and having sex with young girls. God love him. Fucking idiot. That whole shit. That whole thing was just a one big mess.
Yeah,
on their side and on the government side is just, and I will say this, the government probably fucked up a little more. In that case, I think the government fucked up.
Oh, they for sure
Big
fucked
time.
up.
Because they could have handled that a whole fuck of a lot better.
Yes.
But I can't wait to see that. So I'm looking for that, the Waco documentary. I think it comes out sometime this month. So and we will be back next week, Monday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We may be changing the day of the broadcast. Did I tell you I might be switching my days, Katie? I don't know if I've said that to you yet.
No, but I can be flexible.
So
That's fine.
I knew you were anyway. So I may be switching to a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday shift. I don't know exactly yet. But if I do, would you be good with Wednesdays?
Yeah, Wednesdays or Thursdays are good for me.
Okay, I could probably do either. So we can talk about that later. But so probably go to that. Or if not, then Katie and I will just do a pre-recorded thing at some point, or have to go live on whenever. I don't fucking know. We will figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
But I'm more than likely going to be switching up my schedule because it'll work out a little better for me. So until next time, be good to one another, people. It's important. Bye.